Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Why am I still on this? There we go. Alright. Oh, let me go in and edit the title here. Can I do that? I don't know. That's fine. Whatever. How's it going, everybody? We are back and we are live. So we're gonna play some League. We're gonna talk about all of the fun shenanigans that has been going on. So, as I said over in Harley's stream, yep. How's it going? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. This is CWO. That's Christian, right? Christian, if we want to talk about the Cyrax stuff, we definitely can over here. I've just started learning more and more about him, and holy crap, did the Cyrax situation, especially with his girlfriend, get wild. That was some fun stuff. But yeah, so for those who don't know who I am, I'm Apo Apollon. This is the channel that I started because Mr. Street Reheat decided to call me a clown and talk a lot of crap whenever I was just asking him a question after he had asked, does anybody have any questions? A little bit of a recap. I heard about the beef between him and Villainous Masterminds, and I went, hey, what's going on with that? He got mad about it, called me a clown, called me a nobody. And so I went, okay, sounds great. Time to show you that I'm not a nobody, and you don't know what you're talking about. That's fine, actually. Yeah, so it's really funny to me that he would try to call me out when he has no idea who he's talking to. And so he's gone back and forth with me, talking about how he wants a bunch of Mexicans to put hands and feet on me. He wants me to get stomped out by a bunch of Mexicans, which I just don't get it. I don't get why he feels the need to play the race card thing. Doesn't make any sense. At least in my opinion, it doesn't. But the only thing that I could come up with is I mentioned IC3, and I think he thought that I was making an innuendo towards ice. But if I meant ice, I would have just said it. I don't know. Kind of confusing. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. So yeah, I've sat around and watched his live streams a couple times, and I've watched him contradict himself and make himself seem really, really dumb. So what I've noticed is he'll talk about IT work, but he has no idea what he's talking about, and it's always the most simple bits of IT work, and it just doesn't add up to what he's been saying. So apparently Apple hired him, and they had him fixing phones in the back. Christian. No. But yeah, anyway, so it just doesn't add up to me that you went to college for IT, and yet you're doing the most simple things that I know 7-year-olds can do. If you truly had a degree in IT, you would probably end up working in some sort of IT department for some other company, or you wouldn't end up as an Apple iPhone repairman. I thought that was kind of interesting. But Let's see. What's some other stuff that happened? The fact that he insists on getting Apple products is really funny to me, because if you're in IT, you know that Apple products aren't the most reliable thing and like the most dependable, which is funny in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, I'm more than willing to sit down and talk with him, but I know that he never will, and part of that reason is that narcissistic and lying behavior. Because if you end up sitting down and having a conversation with somebody that you're actively lying about, you're eventually going to have to come up with the truth, and you're going to have to say, hey, yeah, no, I was lying about this, or the truth comes out in one way or another. And for him to claim all of these credentials but then know almost nothing about them, I find hilarious. Let's see. We're gonna block that. Oops. But yeah, those are the things that I noticed with his like patterns of behavior that don't add up. The way that he insists that Harley and villainous masterminds are beefing, I find hilarious. To be honest, I think that's more IT capacity compared to Street. I think you understand technology more than what he does, from what it seems like. But yeah, those are just part of the things. But I think I'm going to save the big juicy stuff for whenever I go live again, because I'm probably going to wait until like I can actually sit down and, you know, look at a note sheet and like, you know, fact check myself, unlike a certain somebody. We know he doesn't fact check anything. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to talk about anything specific, feel free. I'm more than happy to goof off while I play this video game here. Yeah, you've been kind of MIA for a while, haven't you? Thanks, Insomnia. Alright, we are playing against the two lovebirds down here. These two characters are supposed to be birds, and they're in love. Ew. Imagine having a successful romantic relationship. Ew. Couldn't be me. Yeah, that's not good, man. What was going on, if you don't mind me asking? Damn, I am getting juked left and right. I can't hit a skill shot to save my life. There we go. Ooh. ALS is never a good time. Is that like a confirmed diagnosis, or is this like a suspected determination? Which court case are you referring to? Because I do remember him talking about being in a bunch of different court cases and ending up not being able to really do anything about it. I did see recently that that John guy somehow got a certificate of ownership of Cyrax's like name. I don't know if it's specifically referring to like him actually owning Cyrax, but it was kind of wild. Oh, I hate to hear that, man. But I am super glad to hear that you are doing better. Just overall, glad to see you back, man. Yeah, the John Southern court case was hilarious. Because I swear, every time Cyrax has a court case, quote unquote, all it is just him going, "You're gonna go to jail, you committed this felony, and I owned you in this court case." Da-da-da-da-da. And it's so dumb. Because he couldn't be more wrong. Yeah, just don't let it define you, man. Like, I'm sure that you've heard the like wild cases where doctors say, "Hey, you know, you're going to be paralyzed. And some people just refuse to accept the reality and end up living life basically to the fullest. The Mall Saga? I don't know if I know the Mall Saga. Like I said, I'm pretty new in terms of, like, all of the shenanigans that was going down with Cyrax. So far, we are doing fantastic down here. We are absolutely crushing it. Now, my teammate up here not doing so hot, but who knows? Maybe we could carry this. We'll find out. I have heal and I have ult, so we might be able to make something happen. Uh-oh. Alright, cool. That was a fun little fight. Yeah, I remember hearing. I think I only heard about it through. I want to say it was like a short of the girlfriend getting lured out. Like, it was kind of wild. Alright, I gotta start being a good support and roaming a little bit. Oh, clicked the wrong button. Kinda wish my mid laner would have stayed, but you know, shit happens. Well, good thing this isn't a rank game, because we'd be losing bad if it was. Alright, we're just gonna reset. My team is getting demolished. This is definitely a lost game, but we can hang out and just get warmed up for rank. This one need to charge and had to borrow a charger. A cop gave him for $5 for the bus. He almost froze it. Oh my god. That's wild. That is just wild, man. And like, what's even more puzzling to me is he always ends up falling for rage bait. Like, it almost never fails that he ends up doing something dumb. He's now on a warpath. Oh god. His warpaths only lead him to just more more insanity. Holy crap, I'm still alive. What? How am I still alive? No, I died. Whoops. That was dumb of me. That was so dumb. I shouldn't have walked up. I had to... I should have just reset. It's fine. This is what these games are for. Ugh. Alright. Well, let's just see what shenanigans are going on here. Well, ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. Uh-oh. No. Yes. All right. Let's go over here. Let's just be smart. We're gonna slow play the hell out of this. Ooh. Oh, it's winnable. We're still in this, baby. Uh-oh. Never mind, I'm dead. Oh, man. Fun times, fun times. Yeah, he hasn't really. So, kind of to go back to the Street Reheat stuff, he hasn't really said much about me lately. Me specifically. At least. Well, at least as far as I know. Mainly because, I have this thing called a job. But it seems to me like he only talks about me whenever I bring up that he's like making really dumb points. Uh-oh. Woohoo! We're on the board. First kill of the entire game. But that's perfectly fine because I'm playing support. I'm supposed to get my team really fed. And I've been doing a good job. At least. Yeah, it is really interesting that he makes threats towards women. Because, you know, it just kind of shows how fragile his masculinity actually is. You know, he has to revert to threatening women because, you know, if he were to actually make threats of him doing something towards, you know, a man, he'd probably get called out and he'd probably get popped in the mouth. But at least where I'm from, you know, when a dude decides to like actually talk shit about putting hands on a woman, they get told they're not going to be doing anything about that. Ooh. Uh-oh. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Like, I don't know. I've never understood why guys, A, put their hands on women and make threats towards women, but, you know, are unwilling to support what they actually say instead of contradicting themselves 2 seconds later. Oh, wait, that's because they're lying. Never mind. Weak, soft men are the ones who make threats towards women. Can I do anything to help that? Nope. Jesus. Man. I told a few of them to come find me after they grow later. That's pretty good. This game's rough. This game is really rough. Ah, I got popped. Alright. Well. Let's see. Oh, wait. What was I building? What is this for? Sure. Yeah, it's. I'm kind of getting to a point with Street where, like, I've openly said, hey, come on, let's have a talk. And, like, I'll make sure that it's moderated, and I'll make sure that, you know, we're actually having a constructive conversation. But it seems like he doesn't want to, like I said, because of him having to, you know, actually face the truth instead of being able to control the narrative and I don't know. It's gotten to the point where all he does is lie, and I don't see how in his community they can't recognize that. You know, I guess it's I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. or if I even should bring this up. You know what? To hell with it. At this point, I don't care anymore. So, it is kind of funny how in his Discord, because I've seen a screenshot of what goes on in his Discord, and there was one screenshot that I thought was kind of interesting, and it was him saying that he doesn't talk about Harley, Villainous Masterminds, or me anymore, and yet he continues to do the exact opposite, and his community doesn't call him out on it, and I find that kind of peculiar. I also think that they don't hold a well enough standard and, you know, hold each other accountable. It's pretty shitty when people are willing to claim that they are all about exposing the truth, and yet all they're doing is lying themselves. Like that just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. I need to... Some people are hurting for friends, I reckon. Yeah, I guess. Like, just... It blows my mind that you are so hypocritical with literally everything that you say you stand for. And yet nobody in that community speaks up about it. And, like, it doesn't make sense to me in any capacity. Like, I guess it is what it is at this point. But yeah. Unfortunately, we lost that game. Pretty unfortunate. Man, they changed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, some people can't face the truth, and that's what I think is part of the reason why people find communities like Villainous Masterminds and Lifetime with Harley, for a lack of a better term, attractive. Once people start to realize that there's consistent lies over and over and over, eventually what will happen is either A, the person will come out and straight up say, hey, I was lying, or B, the community that is supporting the liar finally recognizes the pattern of behavior and goes, hey, what the fuck, dude? And what'll most likely happen is he'll shun those users, and then they'll end up over in Lifetime with Harley, Villainous Masterminds, or even better, over here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to be a little bit more, not even a little bit more, a lot more consistent on when I'm streaming, for how long I'm streaming, it's mostly been spur of the moment situations, and I think that's not really helping me in various ways. But I think once I finally set dates and like dedicate time specifically to streaming, we can maybe get something going over here. I know that this is kind of an amalgamation of Villainous Masterminds and Lifetime with Harley, but I kind of hope to get to a point where, you know, I can be self-sufficient, for a lack of a better term. You know, be growing my own communities compared to kind of piggybacking. And I do kind of, not even kind of, I do feel bad about piggybacking. But hopefully, if I can find something that y'all are interested in and build from there, we can build something kind of cool over here. So, but on that note, I think I am going to call it for now. Unfortunately, we lost our game, but we'll figure it out. It'll be a good time. So, anyways, y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend.